Hey everyone out there on the interwebs, it's me, Side Pocket, as I'm known on the internet, or my real name. It's not like I'm trying to hide my identity, but I don't really care. And I just I thought I would do a review for the movie Tron Legacy, and just to state my opinion of it. Now, the thing you have to understand is that I'm a huge, huge fan of the original Tron. I saw it was on TV when I was 6 years old, and I was just transfixed by the world and the computer universe around it. In fact, Tron, as well as a couple of other movies in my own personal experience with computers and video games and stuff, is actually what drove me to play more computer games and to start making computer games. So that was always a huge push for me. And I've been waiting forever for a sequel to that movie, and not even just a movie sequel, but a true return to the property. I mean, they tried to do that in with Tron 2.0, but this is the first real push by Disney to get on that. And since they kind of missed out the first time they did it, you can tell that they're obviously not going to miss out again because there's going to be a TV show in 2012. There's all these toys, promotions, all sorts of stuff. I went to see it yesterday, and I also had an after party that I went to, which I'll tell you about that near the end of this review. And here's the thing about it: this is not a negative review. I was actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed this. Because while I did have expectations, they weren't through the roof. And also because so many other reviews, including one of my favorite sites, SpillTV.com, were just slamming on this, I was like expecting to come in and like they would just totally destroy all the mythos and everyone would be completely flat as a board, like a M. Night Shyamalan, The Last Airbender sort of film, and like the effects would break up or something like that. Basically, I was expecting the Star Wars prequels, which drove me insane and aggravated me. And so when I went in there, I was surprised that like basically the overall is that they could have elaborated further, but as a getting the 2 feet back on the floor, I thought they did a fantastic job. And so my quick review is that it's basically an 8 out of 10. Now, let me go into the good things that I liked about it and the bad things about it that should be corrected for a sequel. Um, I really actually liked the pacing of the film. It's weird because I believe Tron Legacy and the original Tron are around the same length, but Tron, for some reason, when you watch it, it feels like it's 7 hours long. It's like it goes on and on and on. While this film, while the runtime is long, it felt like it went by in like 90 seconds. And because so many people were talking about how it slugs in the middle, but I never felt that. It was basically like the intro, which was totally in 2D, and it was funny seeing people wear the glasses, even though it was obviously in 2D, and they were just sitting there like morons. And then it goes into, the whole Gladiator games, and then you meet Flynn, and that's some, talky stuff, and then you have another bit of like kind of mystery action sort of thing with the whole Castor, and then you get into another talking scene, and then there's a big, huge action finale thing for the end, and then a nice warm up with a more of an emotional exposition thing. And none of this, I never was like looking at my watch or like staring off in the corner. Well, first of all, it was a giant IMAX screen, so it's really hard to kind of like not like look at your feet because the screen's so huge. But like I was excited the entire way. I was either excited when the action was happening, or I was really paying attention to the plot elements and what the characters were doing. The other thing that surprised me was actually how solid the acting is. Because to basically sum up, like, I think a lot of big problems with Tron Legacy, with the view expectation, is that people are going into this film expecting Inception or something like that, which they're totally wrong. If you want a great sum up of what Tron is essentially Star Wars in a computer. I mean, think about it. You have users that have, abilities that are not done by normal people, aka Jedi, with their, fantastic weapons such as their lightsaber, I mean identity disc, and they go on like grand adventures where they try to defeat the Emperor, I mean the MCP, and things like that. So it's like the exact parallel, and so I was basically expecting, a plot that connects everything together and just cool visuals and, compelling characters, and I actually got that. And I was surprised, like, how, like, Castor, I wish I saw more of him. I'm going to go to the complaint in a second, but, like, I was surprised with, like everyone's reaction was completely natural, even for, like, the programs. And so that really surprised me because I was expecting complete, just like, you know, oh, I am on fire, sort of acting, which was kind of in the first one, which was funny, like, I want those conscripts, but that didn't happen. And the visuals were, of course, astounding. It was like really crazy stuff, and for the stuff that they did elaborate on with the mythos, I was really glad. Like, I like that there's like a whole new universe, the idea of reprogramming programs and healing them, and different program types and things like that. Now, let me get into the negative. I did felt a lot of things were rushed. It definitely felt like there were certain scenes that were missing, or scenes that could have been rearranged to be better. For example, spoiler alert, I really like the idea, and I'm going to give a pause because I said spoiler. Okay. I really like the idea that Rinzer is a reprogrammed Tron, so basically it's Tron working for the bad guys. It kind of sucks because Tron was a main element in the first film, and he's not really much of an element here, and I felt like there was like a scene missing where like, it seemed like they were implying, but they never said that when Clue got rid of Flynn, that everyone thought he was dead. And to me, there should have been a scene where he's talking to Rinzer, or like a flashback, because they did great flashbacks, in which he communicates to Tron after he's reprogrammed that Flynn is gone, Flynn is dead. So Rinzer basically loses, Tron loses his soul and becomes Rinzer because he's not going to get his old friend back. And so the whole thing is he's being lied to, and that would make the rest of the scenes interesting, like where he feels where Flynn is when he investigates, and that would add up to that whole finale when he goes against his programming and says, "I fight for the users," and combats Clue to try to save the day. And just a scene like that would have really improved much. I also wish other characters that were kind of in and out, like Castor, had a little bit more of an establishment. Like maybe Castor's face was like everywhere in the city or something, or people talked about him, and they finally meet him, and that destroyed the whole expectation thing with that awesome fight scene. I also wish there was more elements from the original. Like they did a lot of good hints with like tanks and stuff, and they did keep like the identity disc battles and lightsabers. But I wish like it was like the Pong game or the grid drones, or which my favorite thing, bits. In a sequel, there has to be more bits. So there were some plot elements and stuff that were a little like undercooked. But I actually think it's a solid movie. I definitely recommend it if you are a huge visual freak or a Tron fan, or if you just like crazy action sort of fun, like Crank, but in a PG way. And basically it's as to me as good as the original movie, except the original movie was truly groundbreaking, while this was more of the evolution. Now, if the sequel doesn't add more, because the sequel I want to expand, I want like the Tron universe to connect to the internet and just all this crazy stuff happen. If they don't elaborate after that, then the series will be disappointing. But right now, I don't understand what the critics are talking about. Like I said, 8 out of 10. I definitely recommend the movie. It's very entertaining. I also went to the party afterwards. I actually set up the party. It was at the Santino's Party House in New York City, and I got to like Tron up myself. Here's a piece of my thing. I wore a tie, and I like Tron up the tie. My idea was like it's real clothing, like business attire was in Tron. I was surprised how many people liked it. I had a lot of fun. I'll be uploading not pictures, video of the party later, and we like neon glowed everything, and the dance floor was in a giant grid, and we had God, I forget those things. The flying things, what are they called? Resiliers, recaptures, something like that. But we had those that we made up, and a lot of people were in costume, and it was really, really fun, really good music. I even got to DJ a little bit, and everyone really liked that. And so it was a great party, and to all the people I invited and you didn't show up, it was a fantastic party. So, anyhow, that is my review of Tron Legacy. I can't wait to see a sequel. And even though it's going to be on Disney XD, or as I call it, Disney Laughing Channel, I am a little bit looking forward to the TV show to at least see what the hell they're going to be doing. And I really look forward to a sequel, and I do recommend this movie. So go check it out, and don't trust me. Watch it and make up your mind.